They said the laws of the universe were eternal, immutable, sacred, and in their grand obsidian chamber, beneath dying stars older than Earth itself, the Alien War Council laughed at the idea that humans, fragile, divided, short-lived humans, could ever challenge them. They did not understand one simple truth. We did not come to obey the universe. We came to rewrite it. The Alien War Council mocked our science. We bent their laws. In the center of the galaxy, suspended within the gravitational cradle of a collapsed quasar, stood the Hall of Convergence, a monument to absolute certainty. The War Council had gathered 10 species, 10 empires, 10 civilizations that had endured millions of years. They had survived cosmic storms, devoured rivals, and mapped the spiral arms with ruthless precision. They had measured the speed of light to the 15th decimal. They had mastered singularity drives, stellar engineering, quantum annihilation weapons. To them, physics was a scripture. To them, the constants were divine. And to them, humanity was a statistical anomaly, loud, emotional, biologically fragile, primitive. On the holo display floated a projection of Earth's latest transmission, a simple message, encoded in gravitational waves: we will not surrender. The Council's prime strategist let out a resonant pulse of laughter. Your species discovered nuclear fission 2 centuries ago, it said, voice layered in harmonic tones. You barely harnessed fusion. You are bound by relativity. You are trapped beneath your own star. Another voice joined in. They proposed to break our blockade. With what? Chemical rockets. The chamber echoed with amusement, but the council was not convened for humor. Humanity had done something unexpected. Our probes had begun to appear inside restricted space, beyond light, speed detection nets. Our communications were bypassing quantum encryption locks. Entire surveillance constellations were blinking out without trace. The Council concluded it was sabotage, espionage, desperation. They were wrong. The arrogance of certainty. For millions of years, the Council's civilizations had accepted 3 foundational truths. The speed of light is absolute. Causality cannot be violated. Energy cannot be created from nothing. These principles governed their fleets, their weapons, their strategies. They worshipped constraints. Humanity studied them. But we did not worship them. On Earth, long before we reached the stars, our greatest scientists argued about the universe. They doubted constants. They challenged assumptions. They collided particles at near light speed just to see what would break. We were never content with what was. We asked, what if the universe is wrong? When the blockade formed around our system, thousands of alien warships sealing every vector, we did not panic. We researched. While alien admirals boasted of inevitability, Earth's orbital shipyards went dark. Not because we surrendered. Because we stopped building ships. We started building something else. Hidden beneath the Pacific Ocean, shielded by tectonic plates and gravitational masking arrays, humanity's brightest minds assembled: physicists, mathematicians, engineers, quantum theorists, AI architects. The goal was simple: not to build a faster engine, not to construct a larger weapon, but to challenge the first law the Council held sacred. If light is the maximum speed, what defines speed? If causality governs time, what defines sequence? The breakthrough came from an unexpected fusion of fields topology and quantum vacuum fluctuations. Space was not smooth. It was folded, not metaphorically, literally. Micro-folds, Planck-scale irregularities in the fabric of space-time, tiny distortions dismissed as statistical noise. But what if those folds were not noise? What if they were seams? Dr. Armin Hale proposed a radical theory. Instead of accelerating through space, we could step between folds, skipping across seams like a stone across water. The Council believed faster. Then light travel required infinite energy. We realized movement itself was the problem. So we stopped moving. We bent. The War Council detected it immediately. A gravitational anomaly inside the blockade perimeter. A vessel had appeared, not crossed space, but appeared, between two dreadnoughts. No energy spike, no warp signature, no wormhole formation. Just presence. The alien fleet hesitated. The human ship was small, angular, unimpressive. Its hull shimmered faintly. The prime strategist ordered capture. A containment beam locked on, and passed through empty space. The vessel flickered, its position shifting by millimeters, then meters, then kilometers, not traveling but re-indexing its coordinates relative to folded spacetime. It was not bound by linearity. It was exploiting the universe's stitching. The Council's physics models screamed in error. Before they could recalibrate, the human ship transmitted a single line: "Your laws are incomplete." Then it vanished, not into hyperspace, not into warp. It stepped sideways into a fold and re-emerged near Mars. The blockade faltered. For the first time in recorded galactic history, the War Council experienced doubt. Breaking relativity, their response was predictable: escalation. They deployed gravity snares, fields designed to smooth spacetime distortions. They flooded the system with stabilizing radiation meant to suppress quantum fluctuations. They tried to iron the folds flat, but they misunderstood the scale. Humanity's new technology, fold drive, did not depend on local irregularities. It generated its own. We had discovered how to induce controlled topological fractures, temporary distortions that created stepping nodes. Instead of bending space around us, we convinced space to bend around itself. The second demonstration was not subtle. A fleet of 12 human vessels materialized inside the blockade's command cluster. Not one by one. Simultaneously, they did not fire, they did not maneuver. They simply existed where they should not. The alien dreadnoughts unleashed plasma torrents. The beams struck and dispersed. The human ships shifted half a second backward in local time, not full-time travel, not paradox, micro-causality adjustments. The fold drive allowed limited temporal phase variance, enough to avoid incoming fire. The Council had declared causality inviolable. Humanity had learned to lean on it. The Council's fear within the Hall of Convergence, the laughter ceased. Simulation after simulation failed. Every strategic prediction assumed fixed constants. But humanity was no longer playing by those constants. The prime strategist convened emergency doctrine. Identify their energy source, it demanded. Energy cannot be created from nothing. That was law. But human vessels operated without visible reactors. No antimatter signatures. No stellar siphoning. The truth was far more terrifying. We were not creating energy. We were borrowing probability. Quantum vacuum fields contained infinite potential states, most unrealized. Humanity developed probability extraction matrices, devices that collapsed high, energy potential states into usable bursts. It was not energy from nothing. It was energy from what might have been. The Council had never dared such recklessness. The risks of vacuum destabilization were catastrophic. We ran the risk anyway, because we had something they lacked: desperation and imagination. The turning point, the Council launched a full-scale assault. Thousands of ships converged on Earth. Their objective overwhelmed before humanity perfected the technology. The sky over our planet filled with alien armadas. Cities prepared for annihilation, but Earth did not cower. Orbit shimmered. A lattice of fold nodes activated. Thousands of synchronized fractures forming a planetary scale network. When the alien fleet fired, their beams bent, not deflected. Redirected along spacetime seams, energy meant for Earth emerged light years away. detonating harmlessly in empty space. Human vessels stepped through folds like dancers through curtains. They appeared behind capital ships, disabled engines, vanished before counterfire, not brute force. Precision, confidence. The Council realized something horrifying. Humans were not merely surviving, we were experimenting. Bending the second law entropy. The Council's final certainty. Disorder always increases. Heat death is inevitable. Yet human ships exhibited impossible thermal regulation. Weapons discharged massive energy bursts without waste heat. Engines operated without entropy accumulation. The secret lay in localized entropy sinks, micro-folds linked to high-entropy regions elsewhere in the galaxy. We exported disorder, redirected it, balanced our systems by redistributing chaos. The Council's scientists protested. Such manipulation threatened cosmic equilibrium. Perhaps, but humanity had never feared imbalance. We thrived in it. The collapse of arrogance one by one, alien fleets retreated. Not destroyed, outmaneuvered, outthought, outclassed. You endanger universal stability. Seize your violations. Earth responded with a live transmission from Dr. Hale. We did not violate your laws, he said calmly. Why expanded them? Silence filled the hall of convergence. For the first time, the Council faced a species that did not seek domination, only evolution. They had mocked our science. But science was never static. It was a blade, and we had sharpened it against impossibility. The revelation, in the aftermath, humanity did something unexpected. We shared the fold equations. Openly, freely. Not as conquerors, as collaborators. Some Council species refused, clinging to tradition. Others studied, slowly, grudgingly. They acknowledged a truth that shook their civilization to its core. The universe was not finished. It was negotiable, and humans were the first to negotiate. Beyond the blockade years passed, joint research stations formed. Former enemies became uneasy partners. Together, we discovered deeper seams, macro, folds connecting galactic clusters. Humanity did not rise through strength alone. We rose through audacity, through relentless questioning, through refusal to accept impossible. The War Council's chamber remains intact. But its purpose has changed. It is no longer a tribunal of dominance. It is a forum of exploration, and above its entrance, engraved in every known language, are words once spoken in defiance. Your laws are incomplete. Why, this changes everything. This is not merely a story of war. It is a story of mindset. Alien arrogance was built on certainty. Human strength was built on curiosity. Where they saw boundaries, we saw doorways. Where they saw constants, we saw variables. Where they saw finality, we saw potential. We did not overpower the galaxy. We outgrew it. If this story ignited something inside you, if you believe humanity's greatest weapon is not power but imagination, then join this journey. Subscribe for more epic HFY science fiction stories where alien empires underestimate Earth and humanity rises beyond every limit. Share this with someone who believes the impossible is just undiscovered science.